So let's keep our back and our neck straight and relaxed. So making sure your spine and your neck is relaxed and yet straight, not stiff or tight. Gently closing your eyes. Making sure your feet is on the floor, touching the floor if you're sitting on a chair, or not leaving your legs hanging in the air. And keeping your hands on the sides of your body or as you wish, as is comfortable rather. And maybe taking 2 or 3 deep breaths, slow, deep, gentle breaths. Let the breaths begin from the stomach, up your chest, through the nostrils, and breathing out gently. And letting go of or giving permission for any stress or strain or questions or doubts, giving it permission to just simply leave your body or let it be. And for some time, just sitting in this silence for a bit, doing nothing but just resting in silence. Let the mind go or attention go wherever it wants to. No controlling, no fighting with the thoughts. You simply rest, simply rest. Letting everything inside of you, whatever is happening, whatever is happening outside of you, letting it be what it is, what it is. Not really getting disturbed with the outside noises. Let them come and go on their own. Being present, being in this moment of silence. You're taking your time, gently relaxing the body and mind. When you feel ready, you can gently open your eyes. I hope you found that helpful. It's become a ritual for my talks, sessions, practices, that we all come from different environments, different maybe office space, workspace, or just arrived from traffic. So it's nice to center and become calm before you actually start the session. Kind of sets the tone for the session. So welcome once again to this session on uh, really a self journey, a self discovery rather. Today's session is going to be, or today's workshop is going to be purely an experiential workshop. You're going to experience what mindfulness is, what compassion is, because no matter how much I'm going to speak about it, nothing is more powerful than the experience itself. And that's what I have realized in these many, many years of practice and healing myself. So I want to really start off with a story which I often love and is by one of the greatest teachers of mindfulness, Thich Nhat Hanh, the Vietnamese monk. He said once there was a monk who went off to the mountains, right? And he decided there was a lake at a distance, and he decided to take a boat, go in the boat and meditate, right? He wanted to experience some silence. So he decided, he went and he took a boat, and the boat sailed a little bit, and he was just spending time alone with his eyes closed. And after some time, his boat shook a little. And there was this immediate irritation, anger in him, and thoughts like, How dare somebody disturbs me? I am a monk, I'm meditating. Don't people know that they shouldn't disturb me? And you know what happens when the monk turns to see who it was who disturbed him? Guess what? He finds an empty boat. So there was nobody in there. It was just a boat, which, because of the water, had sailed near his boat and just touched his boat. And that's why his boat shook. Look at how simple and beautiful the story is, but yet how powerful the story is. So, where was that anger? Was it in the invisible person or in the boat which touched his boat? Or the anger was inside the monk himself, right? So the anger arose. And when he realized this, he felt awakened and enlightened and realized that until I make peace with my own anger, my own feelings, extreme feelings of anger, disappointment, hate, or even extreme craving, like addictions we have, until we make peace with that, there is no way I can move forward, no way I can evolve, right? Because this temple, this body, which is my temple, is the true body, is the way to reach any joy or happiness. As one of my teachers said, there is no bypassing your body. You're born a human, your enlightenment has to happen through this physical body, right? And what is really enlightenment? Enlightenment is not for some guru or for some reserved for some people. It's the right and of every person. And like the great master Buddha said, all of us in this life can achieve well-being. It is each one of our rights, right? So that is what mindfulness teaches us, and that's what I've realized. So what I want to do is today to give you a slight peek into what mindfulness is and what compassion is. We'll be touching the very, very, very tip of the iceberg. But the practices are the same. But the journey it's going to set you off is, I can't even begin to tell you. That's it's going to be a warrior, but a blessed journey, right? So a little bit about mindfulness. Let me see if I can share my hold on, whiteboard. No. So let me just use a PPT. I'm not really a great fan of PPT, but I feel it's important for us to stress on few things which are very important, right? So what we'll do is actually we will begin with the practice. I want you to experience what we're going to talk later. So the experience first, and then I'm going to share with you a lot more. So just like before, you have to follow my instructions for the next few minutes. All right. And that's it. Isn't it simple? So blindly follow my instructions for the next few minutes, right? So let's get into a comfortable posture with our backs and neck straight and still relaxed. making sure your feet is on the floor, your hands on the sides of your body. Gently closing your eyes. And just resting in this quiet space. So letting everything be as it is. You may find that your mind, there are some thoughts, feelings, or some physical sensations coming into your awareness. That's okay. Let them come and go on their own. You don't have to do anything, just rest. Nothing to do, just resting in this moment as it is. Now, patiently bring your attention to any sounds that you can hear around you and just listen to them as passing sounds. Sounds can be people talking outside, television, or the washing machine, traffic, anything. You're not going in search of any sounds. You're sitting quietly, patiently, and you'll hear some sounds easily. You just listen to that just as a sound. Sometimes we may like what we hear, we may not like. That's okay. Just listen to it as a sound. The mind may wander a million times, perfectly fine. Then you notice the mind has wandered. Patiently bring it back to the sounds. That's it. Not reacting to sounds with like or dislike, but just hearing to them just as a sound. How is it to look at it or listen to it just as a sound? Remaining patient and calm. When you find your mind wandering, smile and bring it back to the sounds. That's it. Sometimes you may be unable to hear anything. That's fine too. Continue to wait. Sooner or later, you will be able to hear some sound or the other. Now gently move this attention to your own breathing. Breathing through your stomach or the chest. If it helps, you can place your hand either on the stomach or the chest, just to feel the natural movement of the breathing. Your only job in the entire world right now is to be with your natural breath, either the stomach going in and out or the chest going up and down. That is it. That is it. The mind may wander or will wander. It's a habit. It's become a habit. So be kind towards this distraction and simply return quietly to your breathing. That's it. Sometimes you may feel sleepy or drowsy or go off into a peaceful state. It can happen. That's okay. When you realize that the attention has gone away from the breath, you calmly return to the breath again and again, again and again. Not really forcing the mind to be with the breathing, but just settling the mind. Let it settle on its own on the breath. You just feel the breath, that's all. The mind will settle sooner or later. being with your own breathing as it happens, as it happens. And now from this space of quietness and calm, letting go of the attention on the breath, continue to sit in this quiet space for a few more seconds. And from this space of quiet, let your heart open out and quietly send these wishes to the most important person in the whole world, that is you. Quietly in your mind, send yourself these wishes. May I be happy. May I be peaceful. May I be safe from all kinds of harm. May I be happy. May I be truly peaceful. May I be safe from all kinds of harm. Now open your heart out and send these same wishes to all beings in all directions, because everything wants to be happy and peaceful. May all be happy. May all be peaceful. May all be safe from harm. May all be happy. May all be peaceful. May all be safe from harm. Now taking your time, when you feel ready, you can gently open your eyes. And when you open your eyes, just look at things around you, taking in colors, shades of light, shapes of objects. Just getting back into the outside world. So I hope you found that little practice of mindfulness helpful. So what we practiced was really this. So what is mindfulness? Mindfulness is simply paying attention to whatever arises in this moment, paying attention to it as it is. Whether it's a sound you don't like, a thought you don't like, let it be. Let that be. Simply watch it for what it is, a thought, a sound. Instead of reacting, we observe, right? And when we observe, we can't judge. We can't judge and observe, right? Observation happens only when you're not judging. So this kind of mental health tool, this is really a mental health tool, was discovered by the great master, the Buddha. I don't call him a guru, he's not associated with religion. He was simply a super scientist, a super physician who wanted to bring down the suffering of the world, because he realized he could bring down his own suffering with this practice of mindfulness. And when I say suffering, I don't mean just only when a huge tsunami hits, or floods happen, or COVID happens. We suffer with our own everyday habit patterns of reacting like this. We call it autopilot mode, right? So that's real suffering, right? So how can I reduce this kind of suffering and take care of my mental health? And mind you, your mental health has a great effect on your physical health. Well, that's what science, latest research on cancer says. It has nothing to do with genes. Cancer happens because of unhealthy habitual reactions over years and years. Right? Eureka. So mindfulness has been helping cancer patients, and it's been helping the medicine field in a great way. Right? So this kind of tool was rediscovered by the Buddha 2,500 plus years ago. His real name was Gautam Siddhartha, who rediscovered this path. They say that mindfulness existed even before the Buddha, but had lost the practice. And the Buddha brought it back to the world in a big way. And since then, it's been practiced in the most pristine and beautiful way. Right? So it is actually a part of the Buddhist psychology, nothing to do with the Buddhism, religion, right? The Buddha didn't want to start any religion. He really wanted to just bring down the suffering. We already have enough religions and gods, right? So the mind training part of Buddhism involves mindfulness, right? So this is what we really practice today, mindfulness. And we practiced a very basic practice, and there are deeper practices in mindfulness. So it's time to end. this session. I hope I could give you something to take away, right? And I'm going to end with this beautiful few lines which the Buddha said: make an island of yourself, make yourself the refuge, right? Make truth your island. There is no other refuge than your own truth. So discover your own truth, right? Through the practice of mindfulness. Thank you so much for your time, and may you be blessed and loved for eternity. Thank you so much.
Yeah, yeah, Jyotiji, thank you very much for such a engaging and interesting workshop which we have had. I think that was the most engaging and interesting one. You took us through, rather you calmed us down at the beginning to to engage better in this workshop as well. Just as a quick question, which I would just like to add up on behalf of we all here. Uh, See, once we start this activity, there are two things rather which I would like to ask you. One is that we once we try to monitor the breath and all, we unconsciously also try to manipulate the natural breath. See, because once we observe it, we observe also that it is not regular, it is not to the mark, not perfect rather. So unconsciously we try and also to manipulate it to be better, when or to try to work it to be perfect. So that is one part which how should we address that? And
Good question, Anandji. Simple. In mindfulness, you don't try to manipulate the breath. However, the breath is, whether it's short, you observe it as short. Whether it's long, you observe it as long, right? Whether it's slow, you observe it as slow. That is it.
be patient with whatever it is and keep observing. That's it.
Exactly. That is it.
Yeah, this also brings to my second question actually. Uh, See, what happens is after a while, it becomes a restless state for everybody. Your body is restless, your mind is restless. It for all of us. It right now also it happened that we were brought back by only your voice ringing again. So the thoughts keep wandering off here and there. So after a while, then when we observe this kind of restless body and mind state, we often feel that it's not happening for us, or yeah. So that particular thing, again, is it only a matter of patience, or is it only only a matter of uh, what you can say? See, we cannot even label it as effort, lack of effort, because there is no effort in this. So
Yes.
so what would that be rather? What would you advise when we reach that particular point, when we start thinking that it's not happening for us?
I think you answered your own question, Anandji. You said patience, right? This is very being a part of human. We will become restless because for so many years we are habituated to get distracted. So my teacher used to say many years ago, in the first sitting you want to listen, you want it to listen to you. It'll laugh at you and it'll go more here and there, right? That's okay. So what I
Right.
advise is don't start off with I'll do for 30 minutes, 1 hour. No, do for 10 minutes. And every week try to extend it by 5 minutes. That's all. The moment you feel restless, tell yourself, can I bring my attention back? Right? It's really being patient and slowly developing your capacity. The moment you are going to tell yourself, I'm going to do 30 minutes, 40 minutes, you can't do, you're disappointed. That's not mindfulness. Whatever little time you can sit, then slowly increase and have patience. patience with yourself.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think you have rightly answered the queries as well. Uh, that was a great session, ma'am. I would really want to thank everybody on behalf of everybody else. That was a very wonderful session which we have started with. I think
Thank you.
with your permission, I'll just move on to our next
Sure.
speaker.
Sure.
Minakshi ji, are you there on call now? Hello.
Yes, I'm here.
Minakshi ji, yeah, yeah, yeah. Very good evening and welcome to this day three, track three of GTF. And I'll definitely wanting you to welcome firstly to this particular workshop. And mm, what we'll do is I'll just brief you for all of us who are there online as well as on the live stream, and then I think you can take up for the further workshop.
Okay.
So friends, we have here Minakshi Suri ma'am, who would be taking us through the workshop for 9 seeds of unity consciousness. And to introduce her, she is already a founder of co-creator circles and a visionary, and associated with different groups and global movements for world transformation for quite few years now. As well, she has traveled across the globe and across all continents, in this context. And her lifetime study will be comparative religion, meditation, different forms of psychology, management, and different techniques for taking up uh, this particular domain further, and with interactions in different moments. So I think Meenakshi ji, what I would rather put across before starting is, uh, if you can just also brief what is the founder co-creator circle which you have mentioned. So just that
Okay.
particular point, if you can just brush up, and then you can start with the
Okay.
activity.
So, well, as you can see from my gray hair, I've lived many years on this earth and done many things as we do in our human civilized societies. And always there has been an inner journey with nature, with inner inquiry, with visions, and all of these were seemed separate because there's an outer life and an inner life. And suddenly I felt, it's time to bring it all together. And so some of my students would tell me, you should make a business with your name. And I said, my name is while I'm alive. This is not what I'm interested in propagating. What I would like is something that brings out your gifts, the people that I've met in my life, such wonderful people around, something that can stay even after I've gone. And so what I called it was co-creator circle. And it's a place where I call it a place where I find gems and I like to show them to the world. In a way, it's
Yeah,
very close to what we are doing at the World United in
yeah,
a bigger way because mine
okay,
is
okay.
just something that I started last year, so it's growing slowly. Thank you
Yeah,
for asking, Anandji.
yeah. What I will do, Meenakshi ji, is now I will be muting myself as well as my video because it will not toggle. uh, so I'll just
Okay,
mute myself and then you can take forward.
okay. So I'll start with saying I'm very grateful for this beautiful platform through which we can reach as many people as possible. And what I'm sharing is a practical way of reaching unity consciousness. And just like plants and just like trees, we also can grow with seeds of unity consciousness. So I actually always like interactive workshops, but I think this one is going to be more like a talk. So let's, in our minds, if you're here, let's just try to think what are these seeds? What are these 9 seeds of unity consciousness? And this is based on a channeled material by Tavita Grant. A few years ago, in just 4 or 5 days, she got this message. Some of you may be already familiar with what you see inside, which is a part of the flower of life, the sacred geometry of this universe. This is the aspect which is called the seed of life. And so this we're going to start seeing what are the 9 seeds of unity consciousness. The first is what I think, thought. The second is what we speak. What are the words that come out from our mind, from our mouth, and also the words that we write. It could also be the thoughts that we think. And then the action. What are the actions we take? And as you can see, these 3 are connected in a golden triangle. What I think, what I say, and what we do. All of these form the basis of our unity consciousness. They are the golden triangle. In a way, they are the basis of who we are. We are also responsible for our health, mental and physical. And this is the seeds, because when we are healthy, it's easier to go deeper into what is unity consciousness. And creating and co-creating right relationships, as Jyoti ji showed us, the Buddha and what he taught us, and one of the aspects of his eightfold path were right relationship. How do we develop right relationships? And this is to ourselves, to the people around us, and also to people who we don't really know. But like, for example, in this platform, we are connecting with people whom we may not meet, but who will meet us through what we are presenting. And we are also creating a relationship with them. You know, the Buddha showed us the path of enlightenment. And he showed us that it is not just for some beings, it is for all beings. In fact, as Tavita has written in her book, this is one of our responsibilities. It's also, as we can say, our responsibility. When we realize that it is not only possible but also our responsibility to make sure that we learn and we develop and we grow as much as we can in our lifetime through all the teachings of the sages who have gone before us and who are here with us right now. Then we realize that yes, we can also develop this another seed of unity consciousness. And then at the center of it all is the I am presence, the being that you feel that you are. This also is a very important seed, because when we are talking of oneness, it is not about losing ourselves so much as actually finding the real self that we are. And then we are able to do service and co-creation when these first 7 have been found and have been sowed, when we have sowed and planted these seeds. And finally, we come to unity. The unity consciousness comes when all these seeds are planted. So actually, the seed of unity is also a seed in itself. So I always ask this question. We are talking of unity. What is unity for you? And I would like us to pause for a moment at this stage. There is this image here, but for a moment, if you can close your eyes and just feel for yourself, what is the meaning of unity? Is it feeling at one with yourself? Is it connecting all the different parts of your body, your mind? Is it going deep inside yourself and seeing that all your organs work with one another? Or is it being in unity with the people around us, maybe with the family? Or is it being in unity with your culture, with your larger family, with the people who you feel are yours? That is to say, maybe they are people of your caste, or people of your state, or people of your country. Or is it with the entire earth? Is it with the whole world? Is it with every human being on earth? Are we supposed to feel unity with every human being on earth? What is it that you feel? This is the important thing in planting the seeds. It's not about a teaching, it's about your own feeling. What about the animals? There are animals sometimes that we have domesticated and which may be as pets, or nowadays they are like animal family within our home, or they may be farm animals, maybe ones whom we are tending to, or the wild animals around us. Are we in unity with them? Does unity mean to be, does the united world mean that we are in unity not only with human beings, but also with our animal brothers and sisters and children? What about the plants and the trees? What about them? So many of us feel connected with plants, connected with trees. I know that whenever I go around the city, I see the flowers which are the trees which are flowering, and I see that they themselves are also forming a unity. The trees speak to one another. The scientists have found that now. Not only that, but the trees speak to us. Recently, I had to have one tree cut down. It was breaking my heart because I don't like to cut trees down. I bought this house only because it had so many trees which had grown in this land. But some of the trees had been planted too close to the house, and so the house was breaking. And I was advised that this tree needs to be cut. And I went to the tree and I apologized and I hugged it and I said, I'm so sorry. And my heart was just breaking. It breaks even when I'm thinking of it right now. And then I shared this with a group that I have. Whenever I teach people, I form a group so that they are connected with one another. Because when we teach, we are also learning and we are forming communities. That is another kind of unity, you see, community. And I shared with them how my heart is breaking. And one of them said, listen to the tree. Ask the tree what it's saying. And I did. I just went deep inside myself and listened to the tree. Instead of speaking, I listened. And the tree just showed me the house full of light. And I know many things had to be repaired here which were not being repaired. And I see that now they have started. So this unity is there with the trees. The unity is there with the animals. You're meditating, and when you're meditating in nature, suddenly a bird will come, suddenly a butterfly will go. One of my favorite meditations, which I call, is just follow the butterfly. It's the easiest way to still your mind while your eyes are moving, but your mind becomes still because all you're doing is following how a butterfly flits from one flower to another. So this is how we can be in unity with all of life. We have not yet talked about the microbials, the germs. There are whole colonies of germs living within us. Most of them are actually beneficial to us because they help us to digest our food and they help us to live in our world. Do we feel unity with them? Are we even aware of them in a pleasant way? And is any germ actually negative or bad for us? Harmful is something really harmful, maybe something that seems to harm us at the physical level is helping us to grow at a spiritual level, at a mental level, just like COVID. when this COVID-19 came. Just look at how we are meeting right now. Otherwise, the first World Parliament was held in one city. Many countries could come, but then many people could not. More people can join when something is online. Both online and offline have a beautiful way of uniting. But this is it. Nothing is just bad. Nothing is just, actually, nothing in this world has been made to harm human beings or to harm anyone. When we realize that, then we realize that yes, this world really is a place that benefits all beings. The byline of Co-Creator Circle is, let's co-create a world that benefits all beings. And then I realize actually that is what we are doing. We may not realize it, even when there's anger or fighting or violence, the underlying sense of it is some form of unity. You can't really fight with someone that you're not feeling a connection to. So it's a very low vibration of unity, but that unity is also there. But you know what I love in this image also? Just see where it goes. It goes all the way to whom we might call extraterrestrials, aliens, alien beings. It has, do you feel connected with them? Do you feel we are united with the people who are on other planets in our solar system or even in our galaxy, in not outside our solar system? How far can we go with the feeling of a world united? What about the elements of Earth? All the elements are represented here. If you can see the image behind me of Gaia, all the elements are there as well. So this is a very important thing to examine for ourselves. What is unity? What is the world to which we are uniting? How far, how deep are we going? And what is the meaning of this unity? What happens when we are united? And as people who know me, they know that I speak of Gaia. And Gaia is a beautiful way, or Pachamama, or Dharti Mata, uh, Mother Earth, whichever way we think of it. This Earth, with her beautiful thin blue line, the atmosphere around her through which we can breathe and live. We are living just because of this lovely atmosphere around the Earth, around our planet. Just because of that, we can feel the love that the Earth has for us, for all her children. We are all her children. And as I had shared yesterday, we are not even, we are not only on the earth when we are alive, but even after we die. One way or the other, we merge into one of the elements of the earth, whichever way our physical bodies are disposed of. And so we are linked to our ancestors. So you see, through the earth, we are actually linked to everyone, every being who has ever lived. Because every being who has ever lived has in some way just merged with the mud and the soil and the dust and the air on Mother Earth, which we are seeing all around us. If we are able to do this in a wise way, then these things do not cause pollution, but they cause connection. They help us to know that we are not alone and that we are not a little dot in this universe, but we are something that is eternal. We are part of an eternal flow of life. This also is a unity. This also is the world united. And the smile, the calmness that comes, the way that you were speaking of earlier, Jyotiji. This is the beautiful mindfulness that comes when we have these images and visions in our mind. And what about, uh, like I was saying, what about the aliens? What about people of other planets? Can we think that if we meet people, and maybe we do, so many people have said that those who we consider gods are living in other worlds. They're living in other dimensions. We don't know what they look like, but so we make them look like human beings. We make them look like we do. Are we made in God's image, or are gods made in our image? Not all people in other planets are gods. How is it? We don't know. But we do feel that there's life on other planets also in the universe. So are we also feeling unity with them? Does the world united mean that we are in unity with everyone? So we have gone very far and we have gone very close. We have gone into our body, the germs in our body, and the organs, and we've gone out into the universe. This helps a lot whenever a person is feeling disturbed, whenever we feel uh, what's going on in the world, something is horrible, everything is bad, everything is negative. It helps to step out, it helps to get a wide perspective, see everything, like this harsinghar that was blooming in my garden. And when I see these flowers, I get connected again to my mother India, because I'm not living there anymore. But when I have of the flowers that I had in our garden there, then I feel I'm connected. So stepping out from a situation helps us to become calm and peaceful. But if we step too far away and we start losing the sense of ourself and we are not centered enough, then we can get confused. And at that time, we can step in, narrow our focus. So just like we do in a camera, we can make the focus far or near. We can do the same with our own mental self. And in doing that, we are able to feel which level are we able to feel united with. If you don't feel united with the whole world, that's okay. Feel in unity first with your own body, with your own self. Feel the connection between your own mind and body. Feel the connection with just your family. Feel the connection with just your neighborhood. Wherever you feel a good, happy connection, where you feel happiness, then you know, okay, now I have reached this, where you feel smile, and now let me expand it a little more, a little more, a little more, till we can find all those seeds that we spoke about. But to really feel that unity, there's a very good explanation, there's a very good suggestion that I can give, and that is to think that whatever we are doing is helping with the unity of the world. Why? Because we are all interconnected. There's nothing that one person can do which doesn't affect others. Even like we have now learned, when you're washing your hands, you know that you're helping to stop the spread of germs which can injure. I won't say harm, but which can injure. Even a little action that we feel is completely personal is affecting everything and everyone around us. Like they say, if there's a butterfly that flaps its wings somewhere, it will affect, it may bring a tornado in a country far away, just like tornadoes actually move. So nothing in our life is small. So if we get into this consciousness, whatever action I'm taking, whatever thought I'm thinking, whatever words I'm speaking, all those nine responsibilities that we have, all those nine seeds, whatever I am feeling about myself, when I am working for my enlightenment, when I'm looking after my health, when I'm establishing right relationships, I'm always serving the world. In all of this, I'm serving everyone and everything. I'm co creating with all of us, are co creating this world. It's not that we need to, but that we actually are. So, what we really have to develop is our awareness, our conscious awareness, our awareness of our consciousness, of what is actually happening in the world. We actually already are united. We actually are one. There's a very beautiful theory by Professor Park Jae-woo, which he called tri-origin theory, that everything in this world and this universe has got these four states and these three forces. Within is that soul, which is the source and has no it has no force, it has no action, but it acts through everything else. And today I just want to talk about how it is in relation with our relationships. So we have a relationship with ourselves, we have a relationship with our family, we have a relationship with the world. When we understand all this, we will see that it is all coming from the connection we have from our soul. If we go with that soul awareness, we'll realize that our relationship with ourselves, our relationship with our family, and with the world, all of this will become in a very beautiful, unified whole. It is already happening, but as we were saying, sometimes we are just not aware that that's what's happening. The universe supports us in what we want to create. Do you feel that? Feel this deeply. It is not that the universe is against us. They say that the moment you have a wish, the moment you make it into an intention, everything in this universe comes to help us. Because actually, the intentions that we have, the wishes that we have, the desires that we have, like right now, all of us are wishing for a united world, a world that benefits all beings. Why has that wish been planted in us? It is not, it didn't come from us. We may think it's coming from us, but it's coming from the wholeness that we are. It's coming maybe from God. It's coming from a higher source. It's because just in unity itself, that largeness has come. In unity, our vibrations have been raised. So we have been receiving messages from a higher dimension. The higher dimension has us. We are not separate from that higher dimension. We are an aspect of it. And that is why we are creating every moment of our life. What we are doing right now, we are creating. We are listening to one another or not listening. We are getting distracted. Whatever we choose, we are creating every moment of our life. We are creating to our thought. This is the most powerful, where we think. And I always feel that thought is like a river. There's a river of thought that goes around and that unifies all of us. That is why so many of us get the same idea at the same time. Some of us say, okay, I had this thought, I'm now going to speak it and share it and work it. Some of us say, no, not right now. Let this thought go to somebody else. I can't talk about it. I can't understand it. So thought is a river and we plug into it. And from that, everything that we are starts. Everything that we think, everything that we manifest starts with our thought process. That's the most important and the first seed. Each moment we are creating, even when we are still, and then when there's no awareness of thought, when we just had this experience before my this workshop, when we were in calmness, in mindfulness, that was we were co-creating such beautiful things. So it's a lovely question to ask ourselves right now. What am I co-creating? What am I creating? What are we creating together? And if we are all creating unity, then our thought has a very beautiful, gentle, peaceful vibration. Just for a moment, I would like all of us to just stay in this presence, just feeling, what am I creating in my world? What am I creating in this world? How does my thought, my actions, my speech affect me? How do they affect my family? And how do they affect my world? How large is my world? How tiny? How beautiful? Can I sense the peace even below the strife? Can I feel the unity even when there seems to be disharmony? Can I see that the world is always striving towards harmony? Can I see that there's nothing in this world but love? And as we awake and as we commit to enlightening ourselves, we are able to co-create a world that benefits all beings, sentient and insentient. I invite you to have a practice every day at any time that you choose, and just go with gratitude and love. Just enter into any space that makes you feel gratitude and love. The most beautiful space is Earth, Mother Earth, Dharti Mata. But whichever space, maybe it is your own family, whatever you love, just enter with loving gratitude into that space. We are all in there together, in the heart of Mother Earth, in her arms. We are all there. We are all being loved. We feel sometimes that we are hurting the earth, we have harmed it, and we feel guilty. And I say, just turn your guilt into gratitude. Because today, just a few days ago, we have learned that microbes have now developed in the ocean, which are eating up the plastic, which has polluted the oceans for so many years. Mother Earth will help us. We have to keep our vibrations raised. And how do we keep them raised? By feeling this world, by feeling our world, by feeling ourselves as united beings. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for being here and for co-creating this world.
Yeah, ma'am. Thank you very much, firstly, for such an interesting talk and such a, such a vibrating experience as such. So, ma'am, it was really wonderful for for understanding a different perspective. Uh, See, because all along our, if you ask me rather, the only unity which we know of is our body. See, that is the only perfect unity which maybe we can define, because see, we are not feeling if each and every organ separately. When we talk about body, it is one. We never talk about lungs, we never talk about pancreas, we don't even don't even experience it as a separate entities. So if what I understand is the same concept, if we extend it outwards to the entire cosmos, is what is the meaning of unity. And the seeds which you have talked about, I think that will take us through for getting that kind of experience, I suppose. So
Thank you.
so again,
Yes,
one
because
more, yeah.
see, if you look at it, even the organs, we are related to the earth through our organs. They're the same elements on the earth and inside us.
Yeah. But see, the issue which maybe people will relate to it. Uh, See, whenever right now, even if we think of it, it is still on the intellectual level. It is not on an experiential level. See, even if we talk about unity with the universe and all the organisms, the moment there's a mosquito bite, we forget everything. So so the point is, again, how to and how to have that same intellectual thought converted into an experiential rather experience of unity.
You know,
So that,
Anandji,
yeah.
yeah, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt
Yeah,
you,
yeah,
please.
yeah, please go ahead. Yeah.
You talked about a mosquito, and just yesterday, one of my students was laughing and telling me, Meenakshi, I've got lots of natural acupuncture, because that's what I say when a mosquito bites me. I say, look at this beautiful mother. She's going around looking for food for her children. She's coming and she's finding me. She's finding my blood. And I am for her a source of such joy. For me, my body has become a source for her food. How can I mind that? So you see, when you go through these 9 seeds that we spoke about, they're very practical tools. This is a course that I give. It's called the 9 responsibilities. And when you go, it's not a course of one day, it's a course of at least 9 weeks, very intensive. So we do have to develop it. Then what happens is that your reaction changes. When your reflex changes, then you know that yes, now I have entered this field of unity consciousness. So, as you said, it's not an intellectual exercise, it is an
Correct.
experiential exercise, and we have to work at it. This is not something that can come by discussions. This is something that
Correct.
comes with intense inner work.
Yeah, agree. So, yeah, definitely. So, I think this is a very, this is a topic which is, exactly in tune with what mm, the unity consciousness or this GTF right now is all about. That we, find ways and means to, one is the raise our consciousness, as well, experience the unity, experientially, with not only with the beings, but every life form rather, and not even life forms, it will be the entire cosmos as such.
And I
So
want to say one
I
more
think
thing,
that is the,
Anandji. Yeah, sorry, I'm going on
yeah,
interrupting you.
yeah, please, no issues, yeah.
You know, we think that, like, for example, what I said, sometimes people will say, oh, but this is not practical. So you've been bitten by a mosquito, now you'll fall ill. But it's very practical because what happens to us depends on our state of mind. Buddha showed that. Two people can eat the same poison. Mirabai showed it. But if inside you and inside you your inner harmony is strong, it will not hurt even the body. And why is that? Because of the parasympathetic nervous system. When we are in a state of calmness and peace, then our parasympathetic nervous system, which helps us to refresh our body, is alive and awake. So it can fight if anything is trying, or our sympathetic nervous system comes alive and will help to fight anything that comes inside us. So it's actually a practical way. Unity is a very practical need for human beings. It's not just a theoretical need.
Yeah, what a wonderful way to exist if we achieve that, definitely. On this thought, I think I would rather take it up further with the next speaker, ma'am. But it was joy listening to you, uh, and a great experience as such, ma'am. Thank you. I will just invite Sudhanshu ji, if you can start with your video screen, sir.
Yeah.
May I just remind you to record, because I don't think you were recording.
Ma'am, it's already being broadcasted live, so I'll again check with Yugandhar ji as well. Uh, but this is anyways being streamed live on our this one,
It's showing
on
that
the.
it's not available. That's what some friends were saying.
It's right now also it is showing as live. I will just have to check then, but that is what I'll just check it in the meantime. No problem. So Sudhanshu ji, can you just open your video, sir?
Yeah. Can you see me now, please?
Yeah, I can see you, sir. I can see you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, sir.
Thank you.
Very good evening, sir. Welcome to day 3, track 3 of this the GTF. And sir, firstly, while welcoming you, I'll again, follow the same format. I'll be trying to, give a brief introduction of you for all the listeners and viewers, as well as the live stream, and then you can take it forward, I think, with the subject which you have. Yeah. So, Sudhanshu ji, as I understand, you have been, founder of the Life Abundance Gurukul and a transformation coach, and with a mechanical engineering degree, and also a very successful corporate ladder, I think you have turned to spiritual and transformation coach as your full time, or as your inclination as of now. And also a Kundalini practitioner, a Ashtanga yoga practitioner, and a certified Reiki master. There are so many accreditations to your name. I'll have to keep reading, and what I would rather put across to everybody is your mission, which you say it is to help 1 million or more people fast track and success in all the abundance areas and of their lives. So I think it's definitely a very credible kind of portfolio which I go through for you. Sir, what I would rather put across to you is if you can just briefly explain the subject for us, which says secrets to design an extraordinary life for ourselves. So that would be professional kind of approach, or that that is a life success kind of approach.
Yeah, I'm basically bringing you a wisdom from our ancient scriptures as well as modern scientific knowledge, a blend of both of them.
Okay. So, no, sir, I would just request you to take it further for this workshop. I think let's start. I'll just switch off my video so that it won't toggle, and you can take further then.
Thank you so much, Anandji, for that wonderful introduction. And I welcome all of you divine souls in this great event. My heartfelt gratitude to Dr. Yugandhar and his team for making me a part of this global transformation festival. So today's session is about overcoming our inner voices, our procrastination, through our spiritual enlightenment, which will enable us to design an extraordinary life for ourselves. So, by the end of this session, you would learn at least three things. Firstly, what stops you from living a life of your dreams? Why do you feel so helpless in designing a life that you wish to live? So, in this workshop, you will know the root cause of all the problems of your life that are stopping you from living a joyful and an abundant life. And secondly, you will learn what is the most effective path to create more health, more wealth. Yes, sure. Why not? Joy and loving relationships in your life. So this will help you choose what is the right path to rewrite your new destiny. And thirdly, how can your inner purification and your inner healing help you overcome your inner resistances? So you will then learn how to design an extraordinary life for yourself. And my promise to you is that by the end of this session, you will know a clear step-by-step process how to transform your life. I don't need to introduce myself, as Mr. Anand Joshi has wonderfully introduced me already very well. So let me start by the most important secret that let me pay my gratitude to my Guru. Om Shri Guruve Namaha. The most important secret that my Guru told me was that if you want to control your outer world, you must first learn to control your inner world. How many of you believe that it is true? So let us start with our first question. What stops you from living a life of your dreams? Why do you feel so helpless in designing a life that you wish to live? See, we all want to improve in life. We all want to achieve more peace, more happiness, more wealth, loving relationships. But how many of you agree that between our current life and between our goals, between our cherished life, we experience so many resistances and struggles. And these resistances can come because of two reasons. Firstly, they can be your external circumstances, or you feel that the people and the environment around you, you encounter toxic people around you. So you feel that those are the resistances, that those are preventing you. The second is your own inner voices, your inner resistances, our procrastination, our lethargy, our comfort zones, our anxieties, our fears, the fears of failure, or the fears of criticism, or what will people say. So these are our inner resistances. So if I talk about the external resistances, resistances that we seem they are coming from our external circumstances. Now tell me, how many of you have often felt victims to adverse circumstances? How many of you often find toxic people around you, which create so many hurdles in your life? And most of these circumstances, they seem to be beyond our control. How many of you have experienced this? But remember one thing, all the pains and miseries, whether they come from within us or from our outside circumstances, or maybe the people around us, they are all the results of our own prarabdha karmas alone. Nothing happens beyond our karma. So even though it may seem that external circumstances and people are responsible for not allowing us to move ahead in life, they are basically a reflection of our karma, of our past karma. There is a process mentioned in our scriptures to dissolve our past karmas. There is a process that you can dissolve your past karmas. And that process is to seek divine blessings. If you seek divine blessings, you can dissolve your past karmas. But the condition is, there is one condition. It's not so easy. There is one condition. You can seek divine blessings to dissolve your past karmas, but the condition is that you can receive divine blessings only when you make your hearts pure. Shuddha man, nirmal man, when your hearts are pure. Lord Shri Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, prasade sarva dukkhanam hanir seyopajayate prasanna chetaso hayashu buddhi paryavatishthate. Prasad, we all know prasad means, a divine grace. So by divine grace, by prasade, comes the peace in which sarva dukkhanam, all your dukkhs, all your pain and sorrow, they all vanish away. And your buddhi, or our intellect, of such a person, Lord Krishna says, prasanna chetso means someone who has got a tranquil mind, a mind firmly established in the divine, a tranquil mind. He then soon becomes established in God. And for that purpose, and for that person, all the dukh, sarva dukkhanam, they go away. All your past karma, the pains and sorrows are dissolved. Lord Krishna talks about prasade, or divine grace, which puts an end to all the sorrows. But again, as I told you, there is a condition. The amount of divine blessing that you can receive is directly proportional to the level of purity of your heart. See, this is the most important condition. And another word Lord Shri Krishna uses is buddhi or intellect. And third word is prasanna chetso or tranquil mind. So it means, firstly, purifying our intellect or buddhi is the most important task in life. And secondly, keeping a tranquil mind is most important for us to achieve anything, any goal in life. And tranquil mind means something which is free from your toxic emotional turmoils. It can only happen when we start releasing our toxic emotional baggage, which we are carrying through so many lifetimes. How many of you believe this is true? The crux of entire spirituality is to make your heart and mind pure. Shuddha man, nirmal man. So the process of receiving divine blessings to dissolve your past karmas is becoming clear. First, purify your buddhi. Secondly, start releasing your toxic emotional baggage. And thirdly, make the mind tranquil. How many of you agree that, this should become our top most priority, important priority in life now, if you have to get rid of your past karmas? The second thing which stops us from realizing our life goals, stopping our success in life, are these what you call our inner voices, inner negative voices in our head. Some of these are your fear of failure, your depression, some of you may be anxiety, your fear of criticism, or our inability to control and overpower our comfort zone, our tamoguna. And they stop you from starting any new work. They make you postpone your actions. They make you to procrastinate. आज नहीं, कल से कर लेंगे हम. You know, अरे आज आराम कर लेते हैं. How many times you have heard these voices? यार आज आराम कर लो. कल से करेंगे ना. We'll do it from tomorrow. But let me tell you, these are not the real causes of procrastination. Your fear of failure, your anxiety, your depression, they are a result. They are a result of some deeper causes within you. And these causes, they relate to our subconscious mind, how our subconscious mind functions. We are not just physical bodies. Now, just to let you know, first let us understand who we are. If we are not just physical bodies, then who we are? How does our mind function? Once we are able to understand that, then we may go to the root cause of maybe all the problems in our life. So if we have to know who we are, kindly allow me to quote the most authentic definition of ourself, of myself, which Lord Shri Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. He says, Mahabhut ahankaro buddhir avyaktamev cha indriyani dashaikam cha pancachendriye gocharaha. Lord Shri Krishna says, those 24 elements that constitute the field of activities, that means this body, this mind, this soul, this energy around us, which are experiencing this life. So these are 24 elements. And what are they? First is the Panch Mahabhutas, the five gross elements. I think you all know about it. They are earth, water, fire, air, and space. And they constitute our physical body. We call it as our Annamaya Kosh. The second is the Panchatan Matras. They are our sense objects. They are part of our energy body, or we call it as our Pranamaya Kosh. And then you have 5 working senses and 5 knowledge senses. 5 Karmendriya or 5 Jnanendriya, along with Manas. So, 5 karmendriya, 5 jnanendriya, or 11th is manas. So, these 11 components, they form our mental and emotional body. We call it as our manomaya kosh. And then comes the ego and our intellect, which we know as our Vijnanmaya Kosh or our intellect body. And the 24th element is Prakriti. It is the primordial form of material energy, which is inherent in Purush or that one consciousness. And our soul or the Anandamaya Kosh is the closest to that Purush and Prakriti. And Sankhya Yoga calls this all-pervading consciousness as Purush, and the energy is Prakriti, which is the energy of creation. We call it as Shiva and Shakti. And some cultures, they call it as yin and yang, or the masculine and the feminine aspects of creation. So these are the layers of our consciousness or our panchakoshas. Now, let us look at how our mind works. You now know what are we made up of. Once we are clear on that aspect, then we will able to go to the root of all the problems in our life. So there are 4 components of our mind. First is our intellect or buddhi. You have also heard about buddhi in that shloka. Lord Shri Krishna talks about the purity of buddhi, purifying our buddhi. So first is our intellect or buddhi. Second is our ego consciousness or ahankar. And third is our manas. In English, we understand it as our mind. But in Sanskrit, in Hindi, the term is manas. And fourth component is chit. So all these 4 components, they form what we call as our antakarna. Antakarna. And this antakarna evaluates the sensations which we receive from outside. What is good and bad for us, what is right and wrong for us. So the first component, buddhi, our intellect. Buddhi is the boss of our antakarna. Remember this. Buddhi is the boss. So buddhi controls all the other 3 components of our antakarna. It controls your manas, it controls your chit, and it controls your ego self. Now, till the time buddhi controls all these 3, your life is perfectly happy, blissful, and joyous. And what is manas? Manas or mind is the controller of your 10 senses, 5 karmendriya, 5 jnanendriya. And chit is a storehouse of our psychic impressions or our memories. So all the past memories of all the lifetimes are buried deep into our consciousness. And ego or ahankar creates our feeling of separation, that I am separate from others. So now you can see that till the time buddhi controls your manas, chit, and ahankar, our life is perfectly blissful. Our ego and our senses are all under control. But the moment our buddhi becomes clouded, they say buddhi bhrasht ho gayi. That means our power to discriminate between what is right and wrong, what is truth and untruth, when it becomes weak, then the remaining 3 components of the mind, our ahankara, our chit, and our manas, they all form a gang. They form a trio. If you have seen in a classroom, till the time a teacher is there, everything is perfect. There is pin drop silence, perfect discipline in the class. Every child is studying. So, because the teacher is the controller. The moment teacher goes away from the class, all hell breaks loose in the class. All the children are throwing paper, chalk pieces, everything, at each other, shouting. That is the case in our mind when buddhi becomes brushed. Your ahankara, your chit, and your manas, they form a trio or a gang. They shut down your buddhi. All the problems of your life, all your distractions, all your addictions are caused when our buddhi gets clouded and we surrender to our senses. You know, this trio, we call it as a limbic mind, and this buddhi is our prefrontal cortex, which, even modern science has recognized. It is the discriminating mind. So if your prefrontal cortex is weak and your limbic mind overpowers in the battle against the prefrontal cortex, then you will procrastinate. You will become fearful of all criticism. You become fearful of failures because fear is the characteristic of your ego self or your ego mind. Your anxiety, your depression, all your life problems, your anger, your hatred, your greed, they are all caused by this trio of chit, ahankar, and manas in absence of a strong intellect or a strong buddhi. So how many of you agree now that if you want to develop yourself both spiritually and materially, purifying the buddhi is the most important task to do in this life. The problem is not that you don't know the problems of your life. You all know the problems of your life. Most of you also know the solutions to those problems. But do you know what is the biggest problem? The biggest problem is your helplessness in implementing that solution yourself. The biggest problem in your life is your helplessness in controlling our ego and sense-oriented mind, in controlling our limbic mind. That is the real problem. Let me quickly show you one more true fact said by Bhagavad Gita. Lord Shri Krishna says, Krodad bhavati sammoha, sammohat smriti vibhrama, smriti branshad buddhi nasho, buddhi nashat pranashyati. Lord Shri Krishna says, so wonderfully explained, your anger leads to clouding of judgment, which results in bewilderment of memory. And when memory is bewildered, your intellect gets destroyed, your buddhi brushed. And when the intellect is destroyed, one is ruined. You are totally ruined. Jaise hi buddhi brushed, you are ruined. So Lord Shri Krishna here talks about, again, he talks about purifying of your buddhi. See, in every time, the stress is on purifying of your buddhi. That is the most important karma for all of us. If we wish to achieve anything worthwhile in this life. So whether it is Bhagavad Gita or whether it is yoga philosophy, or the crux of spirituality is to ensure that your buddhi or your intellect must not get clouded. It must not get affected under any circumstances. What causes your anger? Your raga, your dvesha, your attachment and aversion. See, you desire something, but when your desire is obstructed, there is an obstruction in your achievement of your desire, you get angry. When your ego self or your ahankar is hurt, somebody calls you by name, somebody abuses you, you will get angry. Who gets fearful? Who gets anxious? Who gets depressed? It's our ego mind. When it is uncontrolled by a strong buddhi. My point here with, great love and respect for all of you is that each one of you has the power to design a life of your dreams, both materially and spiritually. And the blueprint of success is therefore a step-by-step path. And the first is to release your toxic emotional baggages. And there are many processes, many modalities, many tools available, where you can achieve all these things. I'm just outlining a step-by-step path for you. And the second step you take is when you strengthen your buddhi. And thirdly, when you control your ego mind, your sensory mind, when you keep your senses under control, when you start withdrawing inwards. And then, fourthly, you energize all layers of your consciousness. You energize your physical body doing asanas. You energize your energy body by doing pranayama. You energize your mental and emotional bodies by doing meditations and other things. And with this, when you achieve the purity of heart and the purity of intellect, you open the floodgates of divine blessings over you. Divine blessings are showered upon you. And this will be your new you, which would be 100 times more powerful. And then I can guarantee you that nothing can stop you from achieving the biggest dreams of your life and become a super achiever. This is the blueprint to design your extraordinary life. And with this, I again thank Dr. Yugandhar and all the team members and Anandji for this wonderful event and for bringing about this wave of transformation, worldwide. So with this, I close my session and I'm open for any questions which anybody may have, please. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that was amazing, Sudhanshuji. The way you have explained step by step how the things would change internally first, and then it would reflect the changes externally as well. I think the quote from Bhagavad Gita was just beautiful to show the impact of buddhi getting clouded, and then it will be reflecting in the further intellect and person getting ruined. So that was amazing. Again, when we went through the different types of koshas, I think that was a beautiful explanation of how the things are set up inside. Just one query which I would like to put up across, maybe is that once you like you said, ki there will be different stages of once development, once that the first aspect of buddhi is getting addressed. So I think what would be the ways and means to to address this? One of that, I think what I can put up across is to attend such kind of satsangas and such kind of intellectual discourses, which triggers a lot of intellectual thought process in every individual, I think. So
Perfectly
any
said.
further thoughts on that?
I think you have asked the question, you have answered it yourself, Mr. Anand. Wonderful. I'll just add to whatever you said.
Yeah.
Wonderfully said. I think you have nailed it. I'll just add a little bit to it. If you see the way we have been designed and the koshas, and the important thing is that all these koshas, our panch koshas, they are hierarchical. That means the higher the kosha, it controls all the koshas below. Now, this is very important to understand. Your physical body is the last. It is the weakest. Above it, pranamaya kosh, which is stronger, which controls your body. Then your manomaya kosh, which controls all the things below. Then your buddhi, your Vijnanmaya kosh. It controls all the things. But if you see beyond Vijnanmaya kosh, it is our Anandamaya kosh. And as I said, Anandamaya kosh is the closest to the spiritual divine powers. So whenever we are aligned to divinity, whenever we are in the space of devotion and bhakti uh, and surrender to the divine powers, we are in fact strengthening, we are opening up the floodgates of energy to flow through us, and energize us. And that purifies our buddhi, of course. Yes, that is one of the principles, as you also rightly said.
Yeah, I think on this note, I think I would like to definitely sum up on this. That was a very, very, enlightening again for all of us to understand the way it is structured inside. So I think a further study would further, develop our intellect. I think to
Yes,
ponder further and get into this. That would be
definitely.
one a step forward after we get into this.
Yeah,
Sir, on this note, I would like to thank again, and maybe I can shift over to the next speaker,
sure.
Dr.
Thank you,
Sarah.
sir.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you. Yeah, Dr. Sarah. Yeah, Dr. Sarah Chimtanwala, are you there on the call? Ma'am, if you can just open the video, I think we can take start and get further.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, good evening, Dr. Sarah.
Good evening.
Yeah, first of all, welcome to this day 3
Thank you, sir.
workshop. Yeah. Ma'am, if you can just maybe turn around along with your camera, the light is on the other side. So
Okay. I'm just.
a little bit further, and then you can just face the tube light, then it will be the correct.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
now it is much more better. Yeah. Now it is
Yes.
much more better. Yeah. So, ma'am, a warm welcome first for this
Thank you, sir.
particular workshop on GTF Day 3, Track 3. What I would do is I would just introduce yourself to all the audience here as well as on the live stream, and then
Please.
I think you can take forward for the workshop. So, as we know, Dr. Sarah is a gold medalist in homeopathy and by profession, and she has studied and researched on quantum energy medicine for almost 2 decades. Now, she has, a very scientific background and thought process, which has, I think, helped her on her journey and on the creative visualization which she banks upon. So, ma'am, can you just explain on what would be the subject of today's workshop, and then uh, what is the quantum energy medicine which you are working on?
Thank you so much, sir, first for giving me this opportunity. It is just impromptu that I'm over here. I love listening to all the
Okay.
tracks, and so I
Okay.
really appreciate this opportunity to be over here with such esteemed speakers. And
Great.
we have heard some beautiful insights on exactly what spirituality is all about and what karmas are all about, and very interesting topics, very close to my heart also. So my journey into, I would say, quantum physics and spirituality is through my own, learnings and my own healing. At a time in 2.5 years, decades back, I was at a point of time in my life where, due to head injuries, accidents, etc., I was on about 4 to 6 painkillers per day, and I realized, being a homeopath, how wrong it was being a medical person. And that's when I decided, let me do something different. I had no clue why I did it. But yeah, I did what I today know as visualization. I used to visualize the sun energy entering my body, healing every cell of my body. I used to kind of affirm the good health to my body, feel every cell vibrating with the sun power, the sun being the life force. And I would then have myself visualizing a dark smoke exhaling out, which I used to give an intention. It's my stress, my pains, etc. And it was just 3 weeks when I realized the painkillers started reducing and I was on no painkillers. And that's what started my journey. I needed to know logically what helped me. When you are in any medical profession, whether it's homeopathy or whatever, you need to understand. I mean, and my mind is a little logical mind. In spite of being very, very spiritual, I always need to understand things. I needed to understand what was the power of me creating a mental picture and it actually getting affecting my cells or my health. That's the journey. And then I realized that by and by, this was sometime in 1998, 99, I think, yeah, that's approximately, or maybe a year or two earlier. It's when I started understanding and learning what helped me. I had started then giving my patients also such sessions, and they did get results, but those results didn't last. That's what made me realize, why isn't it lasting? Because I had continued my visualization, and I used to just give them 3 sessions of visualization, and that led me on to understanding that no, this is a process. It doesn't happen overnight and then remain. Then, of course, we had 2 international conferences in Nagpur where Dr. Yugandhar was a keynote speaker. He was one of the speakers in both our conferences. I came to Hyderabad, and that's when my journey from 2009 started off, exploring and exposing myself to the subject. And visualization became a very integral part of my life. Visualization with affirmations. I was always a counselor as a homeopath, and I realized then I came across Masaru Emoto's The Effect of Words on Water Molecules. And then I realized, wow, this is why affirmations work. And then I knew that understanding quantum, it was much before I came into this work, much before. I had bought a book of Deepak Chopra's Quantum Healing. And I read one page and I said, oh God, this guy is crazy. I couldn't understand a word of it. And I just kept the book. And today it seems like a Bible to me. When I understood quantum physics and quantum science, that it's all about quantum. It's all about the universal energy. When you read the Tesla code, when you know about Einstein, when you learn and understand about all those things, you understand that this is all available in the universe, all in form of waves, all in form of frequencies. And it's up to you to connect over there, to tune into it, and to receive what you choose. Yes, very beautifully, we heard just now that karmas play an important. That also is something which I learned in my journey, that the power of visualization being so strong. And yet, there were times when exactly what I used to make somebody visualize, it would be a little different, or it wouldn't be to the extent visualized. That's when I understood karmic journeys, that your karmas affect you. But then also I understood as, yeah, your karmic journey is your choice. Even before I took birth, I came with an agenda with tick, 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 ye 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cheez mujhe complete karni hai. So for example, if it's a relationship issue, which I had created in one of my lives, and I chose, I want to clear off this relationship issue. So I get one XYZ soul in my life who's really bad with me. So now on the conscious level, what I am now as a human being, my reaction to that person would be, oh, he's so bad, and I would be talking ill about it, aisa kiya, waisa kiya, and I would be nothing but anger, hatred, etc. But when I understand my soul journey, when I understand my karmic journey, it's a huge lesson which makes me understand that this is the soul who's helping me release a huge baggage. And that's a 360-degree turn of emotion. From anger, hatred, blame, you come to love, forgiveness, and gratitude. That soul is helping you release a karmic baggage. Somebody who just helps you to put a bag from here to here, you say, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And this is a question of your karmic package. To what level should you bow down in gratitude and forgiveness? So these are the few things which I learned in my journey of life. And so then I understood that visualization has a role, affirmations have a role in sync with your karmic journey. So when we talk about you can change your destiny, yes, but you have to live your karmic challenge. But you don't have to linger it on. You don't have to linger the karma on. वो relationship issue मुझे खींचनी नहीं है. If I am in the human brain thought process, I would say, oh, I would keep on complaining, keep on being upset, and so I would attract some more unfortunate relationships. When I understand the karmic journey, when I understand
so you are
the karmic
developing
choice,
even more karma this time.
exactly. So instead of releasing that baggage, I am piling on. But then this makes you
Piling
understand. Exactly. So when you are into forgiveness, gratitude, and love, you cut short that karmic choice, you complete it, and you move on. So that's what we say is moving on with your destiny. Destiny mein tha to say, okay, I have to endure a relationship challenge, but I don't have to live in that relationship challenge. I have to clear it. I have to move on. That's why we have come here. We have taken birth with the only reason, keep releasing our packages and move on and go on to the higher realm of life. That's why we are here. So in that process, the quantum taught me that everything is scientific, all comes from, like I have got some quantum devices which I use, frequency devices by German physicist Marky Schmidt. He's come up with a brilliant device of a Healy. And he's been in India for 12 years. He lived as a monk in the Himalayas and he studied the Upanishads and Vedas, which makes us understand that we have it all over here. We unfortunately just want to read it. I think we should go deep into it, which is why I always say at this point of time, if I had not read my Quran, I don't think I would have had a regret. Of course, I have. I believe in living my Quran today rather than just reading it daily. I believe in living the Bible, living the Gita, living all these beautiful texts, the spiritual divine texts, because they were not just meant to be read, they were meant to be understood, they were meant to be lived. That's the essence of a religion, what we term as spirituality today. So why I keep talking about science and quantum, because being a medical person, which I keep repeating, and of course I am into homeopathy because it's an energy science, which is why it relates to me. When youth, I am addressing the youth, when I talk to them, today's youth don't take you at face value and word value. Explain, mujhe samjhao. Which is why when you actually show them a certain emotosis, or when you show them the frequencies, when you show them the pictures that this is science, I'm only asking them three things: forgiveness, gratitude, and love. I'm not talking about anything in spirituality besides these three things, surrender and faith. But I always say, do not have blind faith. Something happens and you lose your faith. Have absolutely unshakable faith, and that you get when there's conscious awareness. Awareness is a key word. When I become consciously aware of everything, of what karma is about, how I need to change my mindset, the take of the poison, इसने ऐसा बोला, इसने ऐसा बोला, इसने ऐसा बोला, ये सारी चीजें छोड़ो. I tell my patients also, I say that 10 दिन का बासी खाना खाओगे क्या? No, ma'am.
I just get an answer before I ask a question. I was just about to interrupt you and ask a question. I'll just put across one question, which I was just, I skipped few sentences of yours from listening because that question was, piling and stagnating in my mind. I was just about to interrupt and ask you a question, which you have just answered. I'll just tell you The question
Okay.
was, when you gave an example of a person, helping on the karmic baggage, the responses of that stimulus to your karma will decide on whether you are piling up further or whether you are
Release.
whether you are releasing it. So basically, if you shift from reaction to response, then that would be rather a shift which we are looking at, from releasing a karma and piling up. See, if we react to
Very,
it, we will keep on piling up. If we respond to it, we will try and release it. So
very true.
how to do it was my question, which I was supposed to ask, which you have just answered, that awareness of the situation will definitely be the key to make a shift on this particular statement. So
Absolutely.
I was supposed to ask, but I just got an answer. I am totally goosebumps on it. Ma'am, I'm sorry to disturb, but I had to say this. I have just witnessed something which is not into any logical explanation as such. Yeah, ma'am, please. You
So
may please
basically,
continue.
what you're rightly saying is we are not talking about in this responses. This is where when we term it as something as spiritual magical experience, the law of attractions, what manifestation is all about. You start thinking, and important fact is that question was really burning in you. It just kept on coming. Oh, you wanted this question, and it
Yeah, yeah,
also
yeah, yeah,
being found out
yeah.
when thing is working out here repeatedly, which is getting felt strongly from you attracted. इसलिए हम बोलते हैं ना दिल से याद किया. अब दिल से कौन याद करते हैं? याद तो यहाँ से आती है. But again, medical science has told us that the heart is a mini brain. It also has the memories etched in it. And when a single thought, that's what Greg Braden has talked about in his Divine Matrix, when a single thought is actually felt by the heart, it creates 1400 biochemical changes in the body in that instant. And wow, that's the energy you release. And the energy you release, the aura you create around you is what you attract. So आपकी aura में वो question इतना ज़्यादा strong हो गया, आपको answer मिल गया था. This has to happen. If I wouldn't have answered it, somebody else would have. It's not just me. That's what I believe. But then it's how strongly
True.
it's how much your emotion is, which is why when we talk about visualization, when we talk about affirmations, when we talk about manifestation, the science behind it, create a mental picture, repeat it over and over again, and start feeling it already happened. Start feeling the joy. A lot of places where I have been as a speaker, I make the whole crowd, 500, whatever people are there, 1,000, because I say, हम इस पल में क्यों अटक गए हैं कि खुशी तो पल भर की है. Because ये sentence है हमारा, ये sentence हमने universe में create कर दिया. That's a frequency. So I actually make them start chanting, खुशी तो जिंदगी भर की है. We would not say दुख तो पल भर का है. To make this, no. You want खुशी, ask for खुशी. Don't talk. The universe says, ask what you want, not what you don't want. हमें दुख नहीं चाहिए तो हमें खुशी चाहिए. इससे हम खुश हैं. मुझे दुखी नहीं होना है. Why do you want to use that sentence?
Ask what you want and it will manifest.
And feel it. Feel the joy. So beautifully it was just spoken a few, just a speaker, I think before this had told us, like, आप जब वो सारी चीजें महसूस करते हो, you start living it. You start clearing all your baggage. The poison from here, when it starts getting released, you come to peace. And that's when you attain. I always tell people, I would not say to be spiritual that I have to go into one particular mold. I can dress well. I can probably travel the globe. That does not make me less spiritual. It's my actions. It's more than my actions. It's my feelings. It's the way I react to people. Am I being kind? Am I able to move on? Am I just keeping grudges? Can I let go? Why do I want to hold on? Because the only truth of life is change. जो आज है वो कल है ही नहीं, तो हम क्यों पकड़ के? So I asked my patients कि अगर आपको मैंने 10 दिन का बासी खाना दिया, तो would you eat? No, man. It is going to have us. It will create a stomach upset. Blah blah blah. I said ठीक है. तो 10 दिन का बासी खाना नहीं आप खाओगे, आपको तकलीफ होंगे. तो इतने सालों के विचार, बासी विचार क्यों? Why the stale thoughts are manifesting and being kept in your mind, repeat, that creates poison. That actually has an effect in your cells, creating from an ease to a dis-ease, so disease, and plus your aura builds in such a way that it's nothing but anger, blame, etc. All the negative things which you have piled on, you're living with that, and you say, I want happiness. How can you get happiness? When you're just living in your mind a picture of, oh, I'm so sad. Oh, I've got nothing in my life. Oh, people don't ask me why. You keep saying, and the universe just says, tathastu, tathastu, tathastu. So ask yourself, what is it that you want tathastu?
True.
You want to be wealthy. Oh, don't talk about wealth. Why? It's the most beautiful energy. It's the energy which if I have, I can do wonders for people, or I can also go to a club, drink, smoke, take drugs, and that. So would you blame me or would you blame the energy of money? That's so beautiful. Or else I can take that and I can probably educate, say, 100 young girls, or set up something for some youth who have just passed out and got nothing to do. So we are always like, I mean, no, ma'am, don't talk about money. वो इतने अच्छी चीज नहीं है. पैसा अच्छा नहीं है, किसने बोला? अरे आपकी सोच अच्छी नहीं है.
It is what we make of it.
Exactly. I said, you don't want my मेरा बैंक अकाउंट नंबर दे देती, मुझे भेजो, मेरे को पैसा बहुत अच्छा लगता है, भेज दो, बहुत काम है मेरे पास, बहुत सारी चीजें करने की. So yeah, I mean, there is. So it's everything is in your thoughts and how you think of every single thing. You say this is empty, you say half empty or half full, or you say this is black and this is white. It's how you perceive. So when I got into this work of visualization and affirmations, I realized that there's a process. So when we talk about manifestation, there's a technique to it. It doesn't happen. Probably it took me so many years to, keep on getting one. It was, which I understood when I went into my inner self and I tried to understand what's the purpose of my life? Why am I here? And I realized that this is my purpose, which is a reason, but just by default, I got into this. I was not asked by anybody. I was not taught anything. I just used to sit in meditation and something used to come as a download. And I used to wonder, what is this? And it was always a curious questioning mind. And so I went after the answers. So in the form of answers, I met somebody, I met a healer, or I got some book or some mail or something just happened, or WhatsApp message and said, wow, this is actually it. Like I remember, I think yesterday or the day before yesterday, when somebody was saying, the sentence you must write every day, every day and every way I'm feeling better and better. More than 25 years back, when I used to sit in the clinic and patients say that, I used to just write that. I don't know why. I just don't know why. And some years later, when I said that, I said, this is brilliant. So similarly, like, even talking to my patients, I used to change theirs from negative to positive. And I had this habit of scribbling things here and there, what I just came to my mind. And then about more than a decade back, somebody gave me a gift of, now these things today tell me, they were given to me to make me realize, tere paas bhi to hai. So somebody gave me Louis Day 365 thoughts, and I just went and I said, this seems quite familiar to things which I have done. And I started just taking out all my pages from here, there, diaries. And I was shocked to see at least about 40, 50 were verbatim what Louis had written. So I rephrased my sentences and I made my book of affirmations. So when these things started happening to me, I just realized today, when I'm so much into it, they were all signs. The book was not given just without a reason. You're doing this, give it. So when it was visualization, I went into it to give it. So yeah, I mean, there are
give it.
karmic journeys, there are karmic cord cuttings.
So actually, rather than putting up a question that what is the purpose of my life, we should be looking at what is the flow of my life, so that you know, you don't search for a goal, you search for the process.
Right. But unless and until you don't have a goal, you wouldn't know the process. So I needed to know who am I, what am I here for, and then start just, so even the sessions that I give, the karmic cord cutting sessions of the visualization, I just put my patients or clients on the level of, I take them to a journey and okay, you're there with the intention, I am on the path of divine path of my life. Now that person doesn't know. He asked me, what is my divine path? I said, how would I? I have not come with your karmic blueprint. It's yours.
Correct.
When you are in the process, it's your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind has got the data of all your lives. So the question when you are, or the intention you are taking before your session is, I am grateful to be on the path or the divine path of my life. I am walking now. So when you are in this, and then then comes what you just said, then you're just in the flow. You don't ask anymore, because I said, I am. I'm not asking. I am. The question, the two important words are, I am already on the path. And then when you are in it, then it's your subconscious which gives you. Then there are messages from the universe, because you are ready to open up on your divine path. So that's when some thought comes to you, or some message comes to you, or some person comes to you, and you say, oh, why am I meeting this person? But then when you're consciously aware, which we talked about, you start getting in sync and you start relating to these things. So it's very important to all the time be aware. You know, if the antenna is down, आपको reception सही नहीं मिलेगा, तो आपका antenna हमेशा से ऊपर होना चाहिए. It should be open to receive. So, but then what to receive? What to receive is the affirmations, your path, or whatever you choose. I always say, okay, you want wealth and a job? Let's work on that. There's no harm. I mean, I can't expect the youth to say, I am on the purpose of my life. What is divinity? No. He only understands money at this time, and what's wrong? He has to look after a family. So it's perfectly all right. Then he has to be taught how much and what he comes into. So like, you know, even when there is when especially addressing the youth, I mean, you're talking about spirituality, you know, like, okay, don't drink. So I tell them, आप लोग दारू पीते हो ना, मैम? I said, कोई बात नहीं, पियो, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. Spirit and spirituality बहुत close है. Don't let the drink drink you. Because when you come into this, and everybody, I mean, I know the college youth, they are all into it. So if I tell them, आप drink मत करो, ये मत करो, उसके बाद मेरे पास कोई नहीं आता. करो, नशा मत करो. Because मुझे मालूम है कि जब इसमें आऊंगी तो इसका नशा इतना है, वो you are drunk without a drink.
True.
Let them come. Let them be in the flow. Let them understand. And trust me, I have found the youth of today very receptive and open.
True.
They question. And I love when they're questioning. Because of the fact that they're questioning, they understand.
They are thinking about it.
They understand.
That means they are open to think about it.
And as I say, let us all today create masters, not followers.
True, true, very true.
Because when we are all masters, we are all with that much of strength. Today, every speaker, the past 2-3 days, and whatever I've heard, I have always, hi Meenakshi, I have always found each one every day adding one more thread to the weave of my fabric, one more dash of paint to the canvas of my life. So somebody else talking of visualization, something I would love to listen to it, because probably I might learn something more. So when we are open, because let's all be just students. I can't say I know it all, because then I stop growing. Because if I know it all, I'm not open to listening to anything, learning anything. And life is a
Understood.
process of learning. Life is a process of learning. The more you learn, the student you remain to be, the child in you, if it's always alive, the curiosity is always there. And when the curiosity is there, is your willingness to learn. Yesterday, Dr. Yugandhar was telling us about how we should have a communion. So when we are talking about a communion, the communion has to be for everything, whether it's education, whether it's all of us healers. Today we have so many modules. So where do you expect the patient to go? Should he go for Reiki? Should he go for pranic? Should he go for my visualization? Should he go for Sujoku? Whatever. Lama Fera, there are so many.
Let him experiment. Let him be open to each and every experience.
Seeing this, that हर एक की है ना एक सिंक बन जाती है किसी के साथ, because he is already creative. वो तार उसका है, वो सही से जुड़ जाता है.
There is a karmic connect already.
Exactly.
Which
So
is
then
again
सारे
pointing.
लोग मेरे पास आओ क्योंकि क्रिएटिव विजुअलाइजेशन मुझे ही बहुत अच्छा आता है, मैं ही no. Somebody might just do visualization, start with me, and probably through visualization he'll find his route and he'll go off there, जो कि कभी visualization से कोई ताल्लुक नहीं रखेगा उसके बाद. So that visualization just took him on the path, but visualization was not for him. But so in the same process, all these beautiful modules as we have, all the spirituality we talk about, today we are all coming together, the unity which was discussed so beautifully. Are we united? The world united is where we are on the platform today. So we need to be in unison, we need to be in sync, we need to be in coherence with each other. When we talk about the double split experiment, when we're talking about quantum, we all know that the atom which we vibrate over here also vibrates over there. So if you and I actually get in sync, and we've done these experiments, where if I make you close your eyes and just breathe up and down, and I keep on focusing on your breath, and I get in sync with your breath, and then I change the rhythm, you'll change your rhythm. How did that happen? How did that happen? This is a fact. First, I get in sync. I follow your breathing up and down. Your eyes are closed, my eyes are open, and I'm just following your chest going up and down, and I'm allowing my breath going up and down, up and down, up and down, and I come in sync with you, and then I take the lead. I breathe faster, you go faster. I go slower, you go slower. So when we can do this, can't we create a coherence to really bring a change on this planet Earth? It has to be the same intention. It has to be repeated. It has to be strongly felt from here. And I think we can achieve anything we want to. It's the karmic journey of this planet itself today, where we stand with the pandemic, with the tsunamis, with the fires, with the earthquakes and everything, the floods. To me, they're all learning lessons. Never in the history of mankind have there been doors closed of the masjid, mandir, church, gurdwara. मुझे ऐसा लगता है ऊपर वाला हमें सिखा, तू मेरा घर बना रहा है, तूने मेरा मंदिर बनाया, मस्जिद, तेरी क्या हैसियत है? घर में बैठ,
True.
मैं वहीं पे मिलूंगा. So
it's high time. It says, I think it's high time you come out of all these and sit at home and
But didn't he tell you? Didn't he teach you that lesson? Didn't he teach you that lesson?
Yeah.
That you think you, man, you have made my house, मेरा मंदिर, मेरा मस्जिद, मेरा चर्च, मेरा गुरुद्वारा तूने बनाया. तेरी हैसियत क्या है? तुझे तो मैंने बनाया. और तू समझता है कि तू मेरे से ज्यादा है. तू मेरा घर किस तरह से बना सकता है भाई? तू सिर्फ मेरे से जुड़े रहे. Just being connected.
I also think that, see, unless we raise our consciousness or be aware of or come out of at least the careless and callous attitude, I think we are making ourselves unfit for this earth, is what is the
It's sad.
Yeah,
It's
it's
sad.
what is the signal given. Matlab,
It's sad.
unless we, at least come out of this attitude and then look at a little consciously of the status we are in, the cosmos we are in, and what kind of sync we should be having. I think this is what is the message being given right now.
Right.
That
It's a wake up.
it's high. It's a wake up call, definitely.
Wake up call.
And
Let's wake up.
see, yeah, and see, and it's a clear cut call as well to the humans specifically. If you see this pandemic and everything, it is affecting only the humans. See, the Mother Earth has no effect or no bothering about it. Neither the plants, neither the flora, neither the fauna are impacted. It's only the humans which are impacted. So unless we realize this particular right now, I think no time is better than this time to come to that. Ma'am,
But
just one more point.
it has happened. It has already happened. We are already having these shifts and these platforms and forums like that.
Definitely.
12th December, I was on another platform where also we had, like we are going to have on the 21st, we had coherence of meditation. We are all working on raising the vibrations of the planet Earth, as we believe we are ascending onto the fifth dimension. So I think we have a responsibility on us, which we should take up seriously. And we so thank Dr. Yugandhar for bringing us all together, creating such a platform. I mean, and bringing such beautiful healers and therapists and souls together to each of us, share our knowledge, learn from each other, and then help us ourselves and also the people whose lives we may be able to touch with his divine guidance and a huge amount of gratitude. We have a responsibility on us. We should take this call seriously. We must.
Can I don't know whether in this forum we are supposed to stay or not. Because I know yesterday we were asked
Meenakshi,
to stay.
Meenakshi ji, it is just a discussion now. It seems we are continuing. So you are definitely welcome to put a point or two.
Yeah,
I
because
think
I heard that, so I said, okay, it's fine for me. Dr. Sarah, you are so intuitive. It's a fact. It's like how Anandji is saying that when he thought of a question and you answered, I was thinking of gratitude, you spoke of gratitude. I was thinking of sync, you thought of sync. I was saying intention, everything that was in our hearts, you were picking it up. Or we were picking it up from you. We don't know from whom we were picking it up, like that river of thought.
I'm not even supposed to be on this to speak, And yesterday also, no, I am not a speaker. I was a speaker on the first day. I was doing my work and he just calls me and I just come with putting on the video. So it's like, but my decision, I'm hearing each one of you. I heard all the speakers and then I hear, oh, Dr. Sarah, oh shit. I said, better come over here. So I was not prepared. I mean, I just came. So I think I was just, everything that was over here, I was just made to speak. That's all.
And I have just been told that there's not actually supposed to be a discussion. We're supposed to go away after we spoke and I stayed. I didn't know what we're supposed to do.
Exactly. I think we were just supposed to see each other. That's all, and share our,
I would
energy.
love to stay in touch with you, Doctor. So I don't know how. Can you give me your number before I'm supposed to leave?
I will just put my number.
You're there on that WhatsApp groups, I suppose.
Is there a
there on the
WhatsApp
WhatsApp groups?
No.
Yeah. There is a WhatsApp group.
Nobody added me.
I am not very sure. See, that WhatsApp group was for the moderators to work on, because we need to have some basic information about the speakers and all. So there was a group as well. I think Yugandharji has formed. So I think
Anandji, I don't
Sarah
think so.
you might have been there.
I am in one.
Yeah, there is some group. Yeah, there is some kind of group. I'll just check with Yugandharji, I think.
No,
what I was
Because
looking
I
at is we
don't
can
want to
continue with the.
overstay because I've been told that we are supposed to leave after.
No. It's yeah. It's not like, see, Meenakshi ji. It's not like we have completed with the sequence of speakers which we had. So
Okay.
this time I think I'll just check whether any speaker is left out. No, I think we have. Yeah, we have gone through with, I think, the speakers and the list here. So we can definitely put up a question or two, no issues.
And Anandji, you're a very good moderator.
Very good moderator, yes.
Yeah, it's a first time for me as well. So let's see. it's an experience as such, no issues. Ma'am, just one more, one more question which I would just like to put forth on both of you. This on this. See, it all boils down to two things to start, as per my perception or understanding. It can be triggered by some event, or it can be triggered by the upbringing, or it can be, there can be triggers all across. But it all boils down to two points wherein a person starts his spiritual quests, or he gets into this particular line of thought, we can say. First is being perfectly straight with yourself and honest with yourself, wherein you recognize the state or the shambles or a mess you are in, and then you try and work it out, try and understand, perceive how to come out of it, how to grow further on that. Generally, that is the first trigger which everybody has. And then the next is the step one has to take to get this awareness or consciousness triggered, and little higher levels of consciousness or awareness which he needs to work upon. So any insights of these two things, wherein how practically one starts, or one should start, or one should look at these two things to kickstart in his life. So my question is rather not that clear. I am not able to put it on the words, but
I think
essentially this is what it happens.
Yeah, so your question is like, if you are in some situation, a mess that has been created, how would you probably deal with it? In a very simple way to put it.
No. What I am trying to put across is, see, it is generally these two things which, one after the other, if addressed, you come on this particular line of thought, and then you progress further. So, for example, if there is a happy-go-lucky guy who doesn't have any trigger, or who doesn't have any exposure, or who his environment, or the whatever the close stimuli which he has, or the factors which influence him, doesn't actually trigger him on this particular case. There's a happy-go-lucky guy who doesn't even give a thought of it, and even the normal life or the normal routine doesn't give that kind of stimulus to him. So what is the probability of him getting into this, or getting addressed on this? Is there a possibility that he would grow? Is there not a possibility that he has to undergo further karmic flow, or what would be the case? I'm just giving an example.
I get it.
Like, you had some accident. Yeah, you had some accident. You had painkillers, so you had to address it, and then that is what triggered you on this path, or on this line of thought as such. If say I don't have a trigger, if I have a modest kind of, or a simple kind of line of thought and casual attitude on my happy-go-lucky life, so is there a possibility, or he will keep on living in this in whatever safe cocoon he has?
Probably that was his karmic journey. But sometime, at least some realization comes. What I have always realized that most of us, I would say at least 90 plus of the people I have met across, talked to on this journey have had some trigger. This happened and they got into this. Someone like Anita Murjani, she was a critical, in fact, she was all over. She had a near-death experience and she had that when she met her soul father and all, and okay, I need to come back, and that was quantum leap. But when you're talking about, say, a happy-go-lucky person who's just on the steady line, probably that's his karmic journey. And then if at all he also has that, that spiritual climb or this, if he will meet somebody who might take him higher, or probably he just doesn't have to have too many highs and too many lows chosen for him, and he just has to go into life on a steady space, at least not to go down, not to go into the extreme of the high, but at least not
go down on that.
He may have already have reached where we are trying to reach.
Yeah.
Why
So
are we
he just
assuming that the happy-go-lucky person is not? He's already happy.
Yeah.
You've used two fantastic words.
Yes.
Yeah,
true,
definitely.
True. I mean, so he doesn't. Only thing is, during that phase when he's going on to this beautiful steady space, he shouldn't just be into any mindset where he topples down a little bit. Also, he just produces. And I personally believe little rise and little to hota hi hai, because that's what we actually are here to complete. So, which is the reason, when I had spoken at one, this like they were just, Jesus, am I crazy? I said somewhere I feel death has to be celebrated, because it's very clear when you read that the souls of the spirit world, when I read, we are coming here. So if I've completed my karma, I have gone, see, if I'm on level 5, I've gone to level 6. Okay, after I've completed my journey. So I always ask, if your child is in standard 2nd and he goes to standard 3rd, will you cry or will you be happy? So it's the same for us. I've completed my karmic journey with gratitude in the right way. So I have gone higher, and which was my purpose. So you only mourn the physical loss, but eventually you should celebrate the passing on. So yeah.
When I was a child, we were in Madras visiting someone once, and we heard the sound of celebration. So we ran to the window, and that was, I think, the first time when I saw, the pallbearers taking a white wrapped body, and I didn't know what it was. And my father said, "Oh, it's someone who's died," and I was stunned. He said, because in our shastras it is written that when someone passes away, it is a celebration because the soul has moved on. So actually, that was the first memory that I have of death. So yes, it is a very it's not easy. It's not easy for human beings left behind, but yeah, it's like and for ourselves, we can think of it like a grand adventure. What's going to happen next? We don't know. Beautiful mystery. The Native Americans call it the great mystery.
And if it wasn't a mystery, I don't think it would have been something very interesting, because something behind the veil, like, okay, what's there behind that veil? That excitement, that curiosity is there. And so it helps you go ahead. Otherwise, if there's nothing, it doesn't make sense.
True.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. What have I missed? I missed one number. 8130 984 4075. Okay.
Yeah.
I heard you, I think, yesterday also, Meenakshi.
Yeah, yesterday I was speaking about Gaia, about...
yes, I was just thinking, yes, I did hear it. So
Again, that's absolutely a wonderful theory, Gaia theory. I have just, I have not read about it, but I have, I've heard about it and visualized a bit, but that's a wonderful theory.
So yesterday also I wasn't supposed to be on the panel, and then somebody said, "Oh, Dr. Sarah, please could you put your video on?" And I said, "What's happening?" Okay, I was supposed to speak yesterday. Yesterday also, only on the first day. Yesterday I was there, even Meenakshi was there. Again, today, I think Meenakshi, you're the one who attracts me.
We're meant to meet one another.
that might be. That might be.
We were meant to meet.
We were meant to meet. Yeah. Where are you
In the
from?
Anant
Yeah,
space. We are
yeah.
in the Anant space.
Till the time you don't share your numbers across, I think you will keep on meeting.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Yes.
Beautiful, beautiful.
You're
Lovely.
very wise, Anantji. Very wise man.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it's a privilege, ma'am. It's a privilege to know all this. I think I don't know. I am running out of questions, I suppose. Yeah,
But I want to say, because you had asked about, do we still have time on this track? You
it's
know,
just three of us. We can
you
continue.
asked
Just
about,
be let's
okay.
just be aware that it's live streaming. That's it. Nothing else.
Yes, of course. You know, you had asked, this is an important point, because when you had asked about happy go lucky, one thought that came to my mind, that very often when you're smiling and when you seem peaceful, then people around you actually get distressed. I know there are sayings on the web that if you smile, people will smile. It's not always true. It depends on which vibration are the people, and you don't always attract the people who are of your vibration, but the people who are seeking to reach it. So at first they get distressed. I've actually been asked, why are you smiling? And I said, I don't know why I'm smiling. I guess it's because I'm happy, because it's just become a natural way for me to be now, even when I'm at work. Whereas, so many people have told me, oh, but you know, you have to be very serious, because when you're doing something important, it should be in a serious way. Whereas I said, but look at all the gods. Why are they smiling? And this was such an important journey for me, because I said, how come the Buddha, don't they know what's happening in the world? How come they seem so serene and calm and smiling? And I realized we can't know that until we reach where they are. You
Very
can
true.
only know God by being God. There's no other way. It's impossible for our little brains to understand. And that's why, like you said, Doctor, they have put their little kernel inside us. They have
True.
made us, and so we can
I'll just
reach
add
them.
half a sentence to you, ma'am. You can know God only when you once you become God, and it's not impossible. I'll just add one half sentence to it.
Yes, because we are. There can be nothing in this world except the divine. To think
And
anything else can
he
exist
wants
is
us to be
actually,
his replica. He has chosen
Yeah.
us to be his replica so that we create divinity on this. I mean, if you have to create planet Earth to be the heaven on earth, we have to be that divine energy. So that's what he wants from us. But
exactly.
we've just gone so wayward, you know,
But
and
that
just
also was a part. That was the
that
play
was
that
also
he
part.
made.
Yeah, it was all
How
his.
far can you go? You can never lose me.
No, right. The whole drama, every scene has been created by him so beautifully, and we are just puppets dancing on his tunes, and
But
it's
now we are
yes,
co-creating. Now we are
we
waking
are
up to
cooking.
co-create. Till now,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
right. We've been puppets. I have those puppets hanging there. See, I was going
Yeah,
to
yeah.
remove
Oh
them
yes.
because
Even
I said
yesterday,
no,
yeah, I
no
can see them.
longer
Even yesterday, I
puppets.
was seeing the whole background. It was very beautiful. So yeah, so yeah.
Samyukta ji has
See,
joined us.
I would also add that once we are in the drama, the most what I can't say useless, but the most uninteresting character is the one who doesn't participate. So
Mm-hmm.
if it's all a drama for the god, we have to be bad, we have to be good, but whatever it is, we have to participate, we have to contribute,
Wow.
is what I suppose that is expected out of us. See, doesn't
Yeah.
make us bad if we contribute bad, doesn't make us good if we contribute good, but it makes for good actors if we participate in the drama. So that is what is one part which I would like to put across. Like,
Yeah. That
see, it is
karm
very
yoga.
important for us to to contribute in such see that is what is unity consciousness is all about. That is what n number of different platforms are all about. See, it is very important for us to participate in the the drama which God has put across. So it's very important for us to not remain dormant as such.
Yeah.
True, very true. We are all characters, so we have to play our role.
Yeah, yeah.
And but then again, yes, he's the one who's designed everything. But then somewhere when we have understood this whole aspect, we realize we souls have also chosen we want to be over here for a particular reason. It's just that when you are born, you come with it as a soul, as a little one, you are aware of it. Then as you keep growing,
Yes.
everything, the circumstances and all start creating a belief system which is not you, the real you. And so it's a fact where sometimes you are misled, but then also it's a fact that sometimes when you really go wayward, he gives you a huge bang on the head to bring you back.
Yeah.
And there also, if that awareness clicks, you come back or else you go right down. That's the reason when I read the book, The Laws of the Spirit World, that's the reason where your guiding angels and your divine spirits and all don't want you to come back over it. Because there is every chance if you are not able to be consciously aware, you can slip further. So they're always there guiding us. And all this thing would become very strong, this awareness. Meditation is hugely important. So when you meditate, you come into a stillness of the thoughts, which are your belief system, which have been created, your realities of the world you're living in, and you start hearing the voice of your inner call. So meditation is something I think which we really have to promote and inculcate as much as we can, because I know when the moment I talk about meditation, oh we can't do it, हमारे से बैठना नहीं होता है, इसे कुछ मत करो. Just start with 2 minutes. Just sit silent for 2 minutes. I know even in that 2 minutes, there'll be 200 thoughts coming, but begin. Somewhere begin. And the only fact is that you have to begin with an intention. I choose to still my thoughts now. I have found intention as the key word to tune in to the universe to be sync with what you want from that. Tuning in, like just now, when I'm sitting here, I know there is Radio City, Radio Mirchi, Radio FM, all these things, all the 91, 98 frequency bands that are there. But I'm not able to hear anything just now, but they're there. So I have to tune in. And then whatever I channel and choose starts playing. Similarly, I have to tune into something, and from there, I start getting the flow. So the tuning in is the intention. So always begin. That's what I learned when things were not working fast in it. That intention is very, very important and very huge. And of course, if you want that something to be manifested, that intention has to be repeated exactly the same, because subconscious only gets something which is repeated every day in and out, verbatim. So आप जब एक इंटेंशन लेते हैं तो उसको verbally वही इंटेंशन को create करें रोज 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 till it manifests, then go on to the next. So जो it's like when the sun's energy focuses on a piece of paper through a magnifying glass, it burns whole. When there's no magnifying glass and there's no focus, it's just a dispersed energy which we are all enjoying. So the focus of your mind, when it goes on to one single thing strongly, and then the energy of your emotion starts where that's when it starts burning to have the flow. The burning cleanses all your negatives and they're in you shine.
And like you said about intention, and because we are in the unity, world united, nowadays there are those groups of power of eight. So that when people intend something
Infinity.
together, and that's why in co-creator circle in the entire 2022, we're going to have intention meetings every month, intending one thing very focused for a month. And when we do it together, like you was talking
Correct.
about synchronizing, when we synchronize our collective intentions, then they have a very powerful effect. We see them happening. In fact, Lynn McTaggart has done experiments which have measured the effect of intentions, global intentions for the world. So we can have even for small groups, but we will also be doing them for larger groups.
Yeah, because there was an experiment some years back in the US where they had the intention of probably bringing the crime rates down, and they had the few minutes meditation every day, and it did. So, as yeah, you rightly say, because if it's me meditating alone with an intention and another 100, so it's multiplied by 100 times. So it's
Exactly.
huge.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Yeah.
So
You know, I wanted to add one thing if we still have time about what something you had said about that we get a hit on the head before we can go on a positive path. And I met Nancy Ann Tappy, who wrote the book Understand Your Life by Color. She could see the life colors of the aura. Many of the
wow,
colors of the aura change, but she saw that there were three which always stay. One of them tells you what is going to happen. And so before I came here, she had told me, I see red around your aura. You're going to have problems, but the healing has already come. And I
wow.
loved it because this is the meaning of, Anandji, we were talking a little while earlier about mosquito. Because before a problem comes, the solution is there. Before the illness comes, the healing energy is there. And when you know that, it makes you so happy. That's why, remember, sometimes people say, oh, something good has happened or something bad will happen. But if you realize that the good has given you the energy for the so called bad, then the bad is not so bad. That's what
True, true,
Professor
very true.
said. Good is good, bad is equally good.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely.
It prepares you.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
it prepares you.
Absolutely. Lovely.
We are always
I think
blessed. We're very blessed in this world.
Very blessed. Very blessed. Hugely
I
blessed.
think we have
Gratitude
exceeded
always.
the time which we have been given.
Thank you.
It was, I think, till 7 we have exceeded that, I suppose. I'm not very
7:10.
sure. Yeah, yeah.
Thank you so much. Sayukta
I
is
think
here to tell us, hey, go.
It was
It's time
wonderful
out.
listening to all of you. It was so wonderful. Thank you so much. I just popped in for that. Thank you.
oh, ma'am, you are one of the speaker. I suppose I have not.
No, no,
You
no.
know.
I'm just a visitor.
Sayukta is
Thank
a
you.
Okay.
moderator. I've been with her 2 days. Yesterday, she
Okay,
did that.
okay,
She
okay.
calls me up, Dr. Sarah, please switch on your video. And I was taken aback. Oh, Sayukta's called me.
Oh,
And
you have
today,
Okay,
such a
Anand, you
okay.
did it.
beautiful presence, Samyukta
Yeah.
Enjoyed whatever you spoke, Meenakshi ji. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Samyukta. Thank you, Ananji.
Yeah,
Thank you,
great, great.
Meenakshi. A beautiful
Yeah, I
connect with
think.
all of you all. May we all remain together. Thank you.
Yeah, I think let's continue on that. Either we can end the call then. I'm not very sure whether we should.
Sure.
Yeah, okay. I think we can end the call on this track. Thank you. Thank you very
Thank you
much,
so
ma'am.
much.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Mm. Mm.